Ehud Bunya Sharala, and the mighty Battle Axes of the Most High, coming to you with another Fervent Friday. I pray all is well in your households. Get my secondary screens up. Let's get them up. Okay, sound is good. Shalom, shalom. Good to see you. Shalom, Islami. Good to see you. Y'all hit that like button as y'all come on in, Baba Kusha. Get things going. Just give everybody the opportunity to come on in. All right, pray that y'all having a righteous week during this captivity. You know that captivity be. Shalom, Don Israel. Good to see you out. Good to see all of y'all. Just get my secondary screens up. Okay. Shalom, shalom, Aquaf Mary Houston. The mighty house of Daniel. Good to see you, sis. I don't know if y'all got that little bit of weather that came through that tropical depression or whatever they try to call it, the hand of the Most High coming through. Right? Talk about a couple things as we wait for everybody to come on in. The name of this week's class is Fatal, Future, Famine, Forewarned. Again, fatal, future, famine is forewarned. Con. Now we can use a little rain up here, boy. It's been in the hundreds all week. Got in the car today, said 106, and the car sitting in the shade. I tell you, boy, I'm not cut out to go to a lake of fire. It's too hot. Get in the car and lean up against that seatbelt. Ooh, boy, don't burn you. How you sound like Tom and Jerry around there, boy. You don't want that. I don't want that. So right now, I'm not sure if y'all been watching the news. Got a quick little news. They go with it. Breaking news. It says 1.4 million Texans are facing food crisis in the state. So, in a state that provides a majority of the beef, a majority of the gasoline for the country, a majority of agriculture, right? Farming, vegetables, fruits, things of that nature. They said 1.4 million Texans are in a hunger crisis right now, right? I know when y'all going to the grocery store, certain things you don't see on the shelf. Well, certain things, the price done went up, right? Walmart have those digital price things where now they can just up the price on you while you're walking through the store. You could see the price at $1.99, get to the register, they done slid it up to $2.15 on you real quick. But when you scanning or it's being scanned and you talking to the person, you already worked out in your head that it's that price, but that's why they got that digital update, right? Something else that it does as well. So when you're in the store doing, let's say, Instacart or DoorDash or whatever, let's say you're looking for a particular food item to speed up that process, it'll tell you what aisle to go to, and then it starts a beacon of a green blinking light on that, right? They recalled so much stuff. All right, I was going to go over that list too with the recall. We went into Walmart one time, right? And I want to say last week, because my wife is to the point where the most she can eat is fish. when it comes to certain things. Because they done play with the food so much. Couldn't find no fish. Shalom, Kalani. Right? See you, Aqua. Right? See here. Mass recalls. You can't eat anything right now. Mess around, put you in the hospital. Right? When our brother's been under the weather, I think he had Burger King or something. He's still trying to get back right. So they spraying the vegetables, right? They're spraying the fruit. No matter if it's organic or non-organic, right? No matter if you catch somebody on the side of the road with fruit and vegetables, and then probably spray them as well, because they spray crops at night with planes. They do those chemtrail scenarios to try to create that type of issue, right? The eggs on recall, right? Everything. Cheese on recall. As of today, let's see what it says, right? It says that Taylor Farms iceberg across 28 states have that cyclospore risk. 19 million eggs recalled today. Salmonella, right? Publix, they're having issues with their blueberries. Now they know blueberries is good for antioxidant, right? So they know what they're doing. They're saying it's an E. coli outbreak, right? So a lot of the shell eggs have those issues of salmonella, as well as other issues where whatever they're giving the chickens is coming out on the eggs, man. As you know that they've been finding catfish in a lot of Great Lakes and fishing areas with black legions on them, right? As well as they say that the catfish have cancer that's basically passable to other fish, right? These things are happening. The Most High not playing. The Most High not playing. Keep these commandments or you perish, right? You're going to have to, right? They said that the USDA has over 800 recall issues. I mean, everything. You got, let's see here, blueberries, shortbread cookies, right? Papain injections. So it's medicine that are basically having issues, right? So when you're having your medicine, metal shavings in the mix, all this stuff, the Most High has this stuff going, he has to destroy it. Banana and strawberry fruit puree pouches, right? White eggs, brown eggs, breakfast burritos, right? But the thing is they have recalls on medication. Shalom Adiva, Yapa, right? And they're not saying nothing about that. So if you go to the hospital and let's say you get diagnosed with something, they say, well, here, take this prescription, right? They're not telling you that you might be taking a prescription that's been recalled, right? They're not doing that. Leaf powder capsules, iceberg, right? Pounded yam, right? They saying it is basically undeclared milk in the form of sassinolate. Rice balls, black sesame fillings, right? See you, Black King. We going over some of the recalls, right? Blueberries, kimchi. Well, we don't really eat that stuff anyway. High protein chopped chicken and duck flavored wet dog food. Even your dog is gonna be in the famine. Your dog gonna be looking at you. It's gonna be like Looney Tunes. Y'all remember how Looney Tunes used to be? Well, they used to be so hungry. They look at the dog, they see like a roasted chicken. They look at the other person, they see them like sausage links, right? God, you'll never hear about no pork, because they just going to push that through. That's the cheapest meat you can get in the store is pork, right? Sliced Korean halibut. The ready-to-bake cookie dough, brown butter, chocolate chunk, right? And they have a lot of these say undeclared this, undeclared that, right? Y'all hit that like as y'all come on in. Mexican cottage cheese, chocolate-covered raisins, right? Plant-based. So look, even if you around here saying I'm eating that impossible meat, plant-based buffalo chicken nuggets and hot and spicy sausage patties. It says possible plastic pieces are in the food. Pepperoni rolls, right? Undeclared milk in it. All these cheeses, ricotta cheese, soft cheese, brine, vacuum seal. They said it has listeria in the cheese, right? Chocolate raisins. They saying that somehow peanuts that got into the chocolate raisins. You see what I'm saying? The Most High's not playing, bro. They wonder why. It's just the reports are showing that there is a global food shortage that will be coming in the next 6 to 12 months. So start getting yourselves together, right? Yeah, no problem, Max White. See, I can see your little goofy comment, but they can't see it, right? No problem. So hopefully, right, Max White is around here looking at family members as food. Because we already know that the Sun Dodgers, they're great cannibals. They've been doing that throughout history, right? They've been doing that throughout history. So we go to his channel, what do we see? Nothing. Nothing on this channel. He come to scoff. So hopefully the Most High brings that famine directly to your household. Directly to your family members, those that you love. Nana can't get out to get that food. She in there wasting away. Grandpa got the bad hip. Max White, hey, he came in scoffing today. Guess what? You signed up for the first diagnosis of famine being brought upon your bloodline. And may the Most High bring it quicker. This is what we pray for. Because when you come in scoffing, right? When you come in scoffing, you asking for it, right? Now you talking about chill, bro. Nah, the Most High's gonna chill. He's gonna put them on permanent ice, right? Play the Isley Brothers for them, because they're gonna be underneath the sheet in the morgue, right? Play the Isley for them, right? Again, the food shortages are coming due to fertilizer shortage, right? Shalom, Yahri, right? That food shortage is coming to fertilizers. There's a lot of farmers that are basically being bullied by those over them. Be easy, it's still our time to shine. Hey, as a Sun Dodger, you really don't have any time to shine. Because that's the next thing I was going to talk about. Has anyone in your family, Max, started having sun poison? See, the Most High has turned it up another level. It went from sunburn, acute sunburn, extreme sunburn. Now you guys get sun poison. The unmelanated ones are being sun poisoned, right? Every other nation on this planet, the Arabs, they got melanin, right? That's Ishmael. The Moabites, which are the Chinese, they have melanin in their skin. Not a lot, but they got some. The Ammonites, the Japanese, they got melanin. Ham, which are those Africans, which we're not Africans, they got a little melanin, right? Even Elam has melanin. The East Indians, right? They got melanin, right? So again, we got to look like, well, the only people who don't have melanin on the planet right? It's not about race, dude. So why did you come in being racist? That's the whole problem. Now it's not about race. Well, why does every other race not have an issue with sun poisoning except the Caucasians? Right? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Anthony's the next one to bring sun poison upon his house. He says he's sick of black BS deport African Americans. They're literally cooked, unseasoned cooked, right? Like how they like to cook food. They're unseasoned cooked. The Sun Dodgers are upset. They're upset. You can't dodge the judgment of the Lord, right? Because guess what? Like you said, Max, it's your time to shine. But your people can't deal with when the Most High brings judgment upon you. You guys try to grow crops, it's not working. Can't charge for certain things, it's not working. Mass layoffs, now the people not working. So it's like, what do you have left to oppress with, right? That's the problem. I can go outside, stand in the sun, and be charged up. Every other ethnicity can do so, except the troglodytes, the Caucasians, the Edomites, those who the Most High has indignation with, right? Again, we do work together to keep the laws, the standards, and the commandments, right? Now it's not about race. Well, guess what? The Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one that you put in God we trust on the back of the money, right? The one that you swear you guys pray to, the one that you have whitewashed the son of the Most High to make him look like a hippie. That God is angry. He's scorching you guys. Have you seen sun poison? It's swelling your eyes shut. I'm looking at the videos of the Edomites online. They're like, why are no other ethnicities getting sun poison? Why is it only us? Why are we the ones that are being caught up with this pestilence, right? You guys have heaven on earth. Whose face is on the money? Right? Whose face is on the money? Right? This isn't our heaven. We're in hell dealing with Edomites. Our children can't even go out to the street and stand in front of their home and sell lemonade like y'all can. Because guess what? Karen's going to call the police. They're out here selling water that they paid for. They're out here selling candy that they paid for, but then you guys want to label us the drug dealers. But who wants the drugs really bad? Your people, right? So again, we got to look at it. Who's the leading ethnicity on food stamps? It was blacks at one point, but guess what? The Caucasians have knocked us off. Because again, you guys have utilized crafty counsel to come up with ways to say, hey, you guys make too much money, even though you're not making any money in most cases, to even get the food stamps. We're not the color of my shirt. I'm brown. I know my colors, do you? Because you're red. Right? Come. Police ain't going to come because they got the complexion for protection, right? But when it comes to the sun, they don't have the complexion for protection. They can't even go outside. 1,000 of y'all dropped dead in France. All of this is global news, right? All of this is global news. I didn't make it up, right? The Most High said he would have indignation with your people since the womb, since Jacob and Esau. Before anybody did anything, he said he chose Jacob and he hated Esau, right? Jacob went into captivity because guess what? Our people wasn't keeping the laws. But the Lord said he's never done away. You're trying to divide us as Americans. Number one, I'm an Israelite. I don't even take part in the terminology that you try to use to actually keep us divided. Because where were us being Americans when we had Jim Crow? Where were us being Americans when we had Thanksgiving, which you guys massacred Native Americans? each and every month, right? We have to pay taxes because we're in captivity. You guys have to pay taxes is because your own people don't mind being an overseer of their own people. But we go through the worst. You guys can get out of the car and tell a police officer, hey, my people pay your bills. I pay your taxes. And guess what? That police officer doesn't pull out that sidearm and unallows them to do it, right? But no, that's the whole problem. Poly boy. See? There we go. We come on in. This is why the Most High has to bring that sun poison. This is why. This is the absolute reason why. This is why so many people are going to be going through the famine and going through the actual issues. This is why your people are quick to say, hey, we're not going to even give you the autopsy. But what we'll do is we'll arrest somebody for making an online comment about somebody. So it bothers them. They come in saying whatever they can say. But when the Lord brings that judgment upon them, we get to watch. Second Ezra, we go into the scriptures. Right? Enough of the talk. Now it's time to get on these scriptures. Right? Second Ezra, right? 15:5. And it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. Right? We have to look at the plagues that were brought upon this world. The first plague was the actual troglodytes. That was the first plague. The Edomites. They showed up. Right? That's the whole problem. When they show up, they're upset. Who's killing all the animals in the ocean? Because they won't let us get on boats and go anywhere. Who's killing all the animals to where they're now in danger? Who goes on a safari? Who's going hunting every season? Right? It's the caucus. A lot of our people are not even allowed to participate. Right? That's the whole problem. Our twin brother Esau. The Most High already did away with that false brotherhood, right? When Esau said in his heart that the day of his father's grieving is soon upon him because he wanted to kill Jacob. You guys have never changed. That's the only thing that you guys have kept your promise on. Y'all broken every treaty with every ethnicity that you come in contact with. Right? But the Lord said, behold, I will bring plagues upon the earth. Right? He's going to bring those plagues upon the earth. Right? 2 Ezra 16:8. Right? It says, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Right? Esau believes that he can actually drive them away. Jacob didn't steal anything. Jacob was a child. Jacob's mother was instructed by an angel to tell him to do what he did. And he barely wanted to do it. But yet he was led by another heathen that told him, hey, go ahead and do it. Right? Because Jacob was the one that was going to create the Israelites by his loins. Right? Jacob's mother wasn't an Israelite. Come on. And guess who told him to do it? The angel of the Lord put that upon his mother, who was not an Israelite. And Isaac gave the blessing. Did the Lord have Isaac say, hey, wait a minute, you're a little too hairy? Nope. The Most High knew exactly what he wanted him to do. Right? So that blessing was given to the one that deserved it. But you got to think about it. Didn't Esau sell his birthright right before that? When he came in from the wilderness? I'm so hungry. I'll eat anything, just like they do now. I'll eat anything. I don't care if it's cooked or not. Right? Came to him for some uncooked meat, and he said, sell me your birthright. He said, I did. So now you sell the birthright, This is funny. He goes in, he gets the blessing, he already has the birthright, right? And now all of a sudden you're going to claim that he stole it. How can he steal something that Esau gave him for some uncooked meat? Make it make sense. This is how you know, right? He's so upset, right? Polly boy is so upset. Sounds like a double cross. Well, yeah, think about it. The Most High already said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Right? So he had to show him how much he hated him. Right? He had to show him. Revelation 16:9. Right? And it reads, it says, and men were scorched with great heat. Right? Polly boy, he's scorched with great heat. So is Max White. So is Max White. Right? Show me where he said what? That Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Somebody please put that in the chat for him, so that way I can keep going on this class. We have to look at this. You've never seen the verse, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated? Let's get it. Man. But see, it shows that y'all don't believe the Bible. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. So there we go. Verse 15. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Right? So he already shows it. Right? I got alopecia, Polly boy. Thank you for noticing I don't have eyebrows. I see that you're fascinated with another man, shows that you're poly in another way. Right? I'm a real Egyptian. A lot of people have alopecia, right? But it's okay. It's okay. I think you thought that you cooked on that one, but it was unseasoned, right? I have alopecia, Rolex plane. See? No eyebrows, no eyelashes, right? Got a little string here or there that's trying to grow in. Nothing. No razor bumps on my head because never shaved my head, right? So we got to look at it for what it is. Come on. No reason to apologize, because the heathens love to say, oh, you're an Egyptian. You're this, you're that, right? But the Lord took away my hair when I was 7, right? But what he gave me in return for that, for those follicles, was way greater, right? He gave me the power over these heathens, over scorpions, over serpents, right? But that's the whole problem. He's a famine carrier. Everyone has the gene for alopecia. This is the reason why when men get older, their hair starts to cul-de-sac, right? But Esau doesn't know that. Esau doesn't know that. So as I grew up as a child, I had to deal with all the bald jokes. All that did was just make me tougher. Right? It made me easier, right? But again, he's like, you have alopecia. Polly boy, you have alopecia as well. Because the problem is you're going to stick yourself in the head with injections and minoxidil and Rogaine, trying to actually keep your hair. And it's going to go. You're going to have that cul-de-sac. You're going to have that George Jefferson. You're going to have that Bozo the Clown. It's coming soon, right? It's coming soon. My hair just came out, right? That's no problem. I haven't had any issues with it. But you have the issue with it because for whatever reason, you have a sodomite spirit. The things that you say about men that YouTube won't even allow you to post, guess what? I'm 34 and I still have a full set of hair. Don't forget to talk about the cancer that you have, that growth. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. It's not malignant. Just because you don't go to the doctor, it's not going to hide it. So yes, you have a full set of hair now, but guess what? You don't have any vitamin D to go along with it. So when you go out in the sun, you look like a sunburned fish. It eats you up from the inside. But it's okay. That's just our lot. I got alopecia. You don't have any vitamin D, right? and that's the thing, right? My wife, she's from the tribe of Ephraim, Puerto Rico. Long, beautiful hair, right? So, again, we got to look at it. Now, I'm good because guess what? I got a spiritual beard. When we get to the kingdom, it's going to be a long, mighty beard just like Aaron had. So I can wait. It's going to always be edged, right? God, all praises, right? All praises. Glad to have you here. But what does the scripture say, right? When we look at Polyboy, right? And the rest of these heathens that are upset, Revelation 16:9 tells us, guess what? Men were scorched with great heat. This is why there's sun poison now. Sun poison isn't affecting the 12 tribes of Israel, but it is affecting that ethnicity, which the Most High said he had perpetual hatred against, right? And it says, men were scorched with great heat and blaspheming the name of God. That's what they do. They mock the words of the Most High. God. Esau has that cancer. They get the weirdest cancers. Fingernail cancer, right? Reverse hair follicle cancer. Toenail cancer. They get all types of weird cancer, right? But again, this is what they have to do, right? This is what they have to do. And it says, they blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. You know why? Because there are 2/3 of our people who will foolishly be hand in hand with the heathen nations when Christ returns. And they will actually have to pay dearly for doing so. They're going to have to pay dearly, right? Because when you look over at France, that was the first country that says, hey, if you're an Israelite, you can't teach your people over here. What did the Most High do? The Most High went ahead and provided them with such a large amount of heat that over 1,500 people no longer exist, right? He's upset. You look like a Hotep Egyptian. Polyboy, what do you even believe in? Right? What do you believe in? Are you poly where you believe that this person can be with this person and this person? Right? And you're Nepatali, as you claim, right? If you're Nepatali, right, and you're here scoffing, then you got a problem on your hands. You might be within the 2/3. That's the problem. Go to your page, you're talking about the Most High this and that you tribe of Nepatali, right? But yet you're scoffing a Benjamite. But it's okay. It's okay. 2/3 of our people aren't going to make it. This is the reason why the scripture said what they says. Fatal future famine is forewarned, right? This is the reason why it says they blasphemed the name of God when they had the power to repent. They didn't give the Most High his glory and repentance, right? You're not no Israelite, right? But when we go to your page, what does your page show? Let's see. Look, page right here. Right? Nepatali. Does it not say Nepatali? Right? Nepatali descent. Right there. Nepatali descent. You got Israelite stuff on your page. Let's look at it, right? Talking about Gad. Let's talk about it, right? You have this stuff on your page, right? Tribe of Naphtali. Yep. And then you got 1 John 4:20. Whoever claims to love God yet hates their brother or sister is a liar. So you're a liar, Polly boy? Are you a liar, huh? Because I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, right? But you're saying you're Naphtali. You're putting Ezekiel up here. You're from the tribe of Naphtali. But now all of a sudden, you're showing hate towards your brother. Oh, I see. Then why do you have that you're Naphtali on here? Naphtali, descent, 2-9, Nesian boy. So are you Polynesian? Or trying to take on the actual tribe of Naphtali? Right? I don't know. You sit here scoffing. I'm looking at your page. Because we got time today. We got time. Right? We got time. Are you Polynesian? If you're Polynesian, you should be proud of that. But again, he's not going to answer that. He's not going to have pride for his ethnicity. What he's going to do is he's going to come and scoff. But this is what cowards do, right? This is what cowards do, right? But it's okay, right? So is your father a so-called Caucasian, Polly? Is your father a so-called Caucasian? Because we can sum it up for you really quick, so that way you don't have to claim the wrong tribe. Because I know mighty Nephtalians, right? Now I would hate for you to be in a situation where you're claiming something that you're not. You false flinging. Let's see. Melanesian. You're Polynesian. Okay, no problem. So your father is Polynesian, correct? Just want to make sure I'm clear in regards to your tribe. You're Polynesian. So your father's Polynesian? I just want to be clear with you. Just a yes or no would be suffice. God, they false fringing. That's what they doing, false fringing. You got on fringes with a border of pink. We got to know. Everybody wants to know now. Because we take this Bible seriously. We take the words of the Most High. You're Polynesian, right? Right, so let's just look up what Melanesian is. Let's see if that's Polynesian, because I clearly can't get a yes or no. And I'm unfamiliar with that word, right? So I just want to know. All right. Let's see here. We're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Oh, so yep, you're Polynesian. Polynesian. Okay, no problem. Let's get Sirach 23:11. Right? Because we get a lot of Polynesians that come across. My father is married a half Samoan, half Asian, who is my mother. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Right? So half this, half that, whole heathen. Okay, I get it. Sirach chapter 23:11. A man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity, and the plague shall never depart from his house. Right? It says, if he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him. If he acknowledge not his sin, he maketh a double offense. And if he swear in vain, he shall not be innocent, but his house shall be full of calamities. Right? Yeah, indigenous people of Melanesia, Pacific Ocean, right? Like Papua New Guinea, Fiji, the Solomon Islands, Vanuatu. You guys were conquered by the French. I have alopecia, right? Why would I shave my eyebrows and eyelashes? That makes no sense. That's foolishness, right? Have alopecia. Real simple. A lot of people never seen alopecia. I had alopecia since I was 7 years old, right? The water your paw, right? 7 years old. Ice cold lemon water, right? So we have to look at if there's a lot of melanated people on the planet, right? Even Polyboy, his people would be melanated. The name of Malaysian comes from a Greek word meaning black islands, referring to dark-skinned inhabitants, right? But the Hamites were dark-skinned. Elam is dark-skinned. At one point, Asians were dark-skinned until Esau showed up and decided he was going to start violating ethnicities and lightening skins and mixing, right? That's where it started, right? All right. Repent, keep the commandments of the Most High if you can, right? If you can, and that goes for everyone hearing the sound of my voice. If you have the option to keep the commandments of the Most High, if you are one of the 12 tribes of Jacob and you're in sin, keep those commandments. Live while you have the opportunity to, because famine is coming. The plague is already upon us, right? Now all of a sudden, it's not even sun cancer no more. You got sun poison. People are getting sun poison who are unmelanated. So you have to ask yourself, why is the Most High giving one group of people sun poison? It's extreme sunburn. So it's gone beyond standard sunburn. So this means, from what they're saying, you can put on all the sunscreen you want. Right? This is the crazy part. You can put on the highest level. You can put on military grade sunscreen, and the Most High will still give a Edomite sun poison. Wow. This is for the wickedness that they've done, right? The wickedness that they've done. I don't know if y'all seen the video of the bear somehow was trapped on the power pole. And the people called in and said, hey, there's a bear stuck up here. It climbed the pole and got stuck on the top. No, the Edomites said, we're going to have to come shoot it. They're not going to go up there with something to safely get the animal down, right? They said, we're going to just shoot it. We're going to just shoot the bear, right? Bear could have went up that pole for any reason. Safety reason, right? Could have went up there looking for food, right? We got to look at for what it is. Can't be around here destroying the Most High's creation. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked, right? Earth was given to the hand of the wicked. This is the reason why they make pork the cheapest meat. The most contaminated meat on the planet is pork. Pigs don't have sweat glands. They have a plethora of disease and things that actually kill people. But guess what? It's given to the children in the schools. It's given to the old people in the nursing homes. It's given in the hospitals. It's given in the jails and the prisons, right? But you know where they're not eating pork at? At the country club. Well, maybe they are. Let me take that back. Maybe they are. Willfully eating the pork, right? Eating it half cooked. That's how Sun Dodgers like it, right? This is the reason why he says the iniquity and plague shall never depart from his house. Because the Most High already said, behold, I will bring plagues upon the world. right? So we have to look at that world. That's going to be the 2/3. That's going to be every nation involved, right? And the children of Israel will be included in that if we don't keep the commandments. That's why it says they repented not to give his glory in Revelation 16:9. We have the opportunity to do thus said the Lord, but a lot of our people don't. And because them not doing that, that's the reason why we run into the problems that we have, right? That's the reason why, right? Let's keep going. Let's go over to 2nd Ezra, right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Get my other secondary screen back up. Slacky, give me one moment. All right. Got that one back up. And we're going back to 2nd Ezra 15. All right. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. All right. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world." So we read that part. We got precepts in regards to that, right? And it says, "the sword." So let's get that sword that the Most High was referring to. We're going to stay right here in 2nd Ezra 15. We're going to drop down to verse 15, right? It says, "For the sword and their destruction drive nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands," right? Who is this one people that they're referring to, right? Who is this one people that they're referring to that will stand up and fight against others with swords in their hands? Let's get the proof. Let's go over to Genesis chapter 27, right? Genesis chapter 27. Max White, you out of here already? This is Esau. This is the one people, right? Don't leave yet. Let's hear about your people, right? Esau. The book of Genesis, chapter 27 and 38. Esau's the one people of the sword. Let's prove it with the scripture, right? The book of Genesis, chapter 27 and verse 38. "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept," right? "And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live." So right here, you're getting the origin story of Esau being the sword. And that one people that will stand up and fight against another with swords in their hand. It's saying it right here in verse 40. It says, "And by the sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck," right? It says, "And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob," right? That's what the Most High had to show us, right? He had to show us that this people, right? That's what it says in 2nd Ezra 15 and 15, "For the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands," right? Shalom. I'm Antoinette. Good to see you, sis, right? "I ain't no snake." Okay. No, who said you were a snake? We just said that you were Esau. You were the sword that was basically, you're the sword of the Most High, right? Let's prove it. Go to Psalms 17 and 13. Let's prove it. You were given the sword. That was your blessing. Why do you think you people have military garrisons in every country, except a few? You have consulates that Americans can go to in every country, right? You put your flag some of everywhere. You claimed you put it on the moon, but we know you never left the firmament. Think the Most High would let filth into outer space? You think you're going to fly a rocket ship up to heaven and tell the Most High how you really feel? Because if you guys could go to heaven, if Edomites could go to heaven, if a Caucasian could walk into the gates of heaven and just walk in willy-nilly, they would put American flags all over the place. And then they would try to do Christ and the angels like they did the Native Americans and try to take over heaven. They would. We've looked at history. They've given us history books. They've shown every nation of people they have, in one way or another, had their hands in bringing destruction upon them, right? Bringing problems, right? Yeah. Y'all not like the Aborigines, right? That's what I'm saying. Like the Polynesians, a lot of them look black, right? But the thing is you guys are of the seed of Japhet. There's historians that are Polynesians, like ancient people that saying they're Polynesians, right? That wrote books saying that you guys are the tribe of Japhet as well. No different than Edomites, and the Most High does this. Edomites who wrote books showing that the Caucasians are the nation of Edom, are the Edomites. Matter of fact, I got a book to prove it. And I'm going to get me a book for all the other nations showing by their books, right? Roman Empire, the empire of the Edomites, right? The Roman Empire was the last large caucus superpower, right? It says it's crazy how you using that book to make what you're saying true. Max, what are you talking about? Your people don't have the sword? Who has the most military tactical situations? Y'all got drones, right? Y'all put the infrared beam on guns. Y'all made the guns 100-round clips, but now it's like you can't have that, right? You made fully automatic. Y'all made the FRT trigger, right? Right? No, a lot of your archaeologists, a lot of your authors are showing that you guys are Japhet, right? Hey, I didn't write the books. Like I said, this is what your archaeologists are claiming. So that would be something you want to take up with them. Like a lot of the rabbis, a lot of other nations are now coming forward saying that the Negroes, indigenous Latinos, and Native Americans make up the 12 tribes, and that the charts can be proven. Now, these are other ethnicities. So we can't get upset that the Most High is putting the spirit on these heathen nations to basically agree and say, you know what? They are actually right. And they're giving their theses, right? I don't know what to call them, right? I don't know what to call them. Because I used to think that Polynesians were just about, praying to volcanoes and enjoying pineapples on the pizza. But that, to me, that it's not all about that, right? You guys have a culture of tattooing your flesh, and that is something that the Most High is against. We don't have a culture of tattooing our flesh. You have thousands of different tattoos that the Polynesians carry and wear as a badge of honor, where their whole body's tattooed and it tells a story, right? So again, we don't have that as Negroes, indigenous Latinos, and Native Americans. These were things that was forbidden to us, right? But your people embrace this, and to this day, your people, Polynesians, right? Because I'm just trying to be what they call politically correct. They pray to volcanoes, right? They have spirits that they pray to on their islands, right? And they pray for the volcanoes not to destroy them. But the Most High is the only one that has control. not a make-believe spirit, right? This is what your people have. Like if I go to Hawaii, right, and I take 50 people with me, and we go on a tour of the big island, and we go to all the areas where Polynesians exist, they're going to say the same thing. It's all the same story. So they all sellouts, or is the history of your people pseudo? So these are things that internally have to be taken up. Just like we have a lot of people who are Negro. I'm not no Israelite. I'm not any of that, right? You have indigenous Latinos. They know that they're Israelites, but they don't want to let go of the Catholic situation that they're in, that the conquistadors put upon their people. It's a very, very heavy wedge on them. The Native Americans, they've just hidden them on plantations and call them reservations, right? So what we just went over was we were explaining that the sword is the Caucasus nation, the nation of Edom, the Caucasoid, the unmelanated, the unseasoned, right? Caribbeans. I mean, that's what they say. Right? They say that, but skin color isn't just based on being outside, right? Because you have people who are outside in the sun. Look at our indigenous Latino nations, right? There's black Mexicans, black Brazilians, right? Black Uruguayans, right? That they don't have those issues, but you still have some like, let's look at Canelo Alvarez, right? His father's a purebred Mexican, right? But yet he has red hair and freckles. His mother's Mexican. So again, these are things the Most High is like, it ain't about skin tone. It ain't about a skin color. That's not what it's about. This is the reason why we don't call ourselves Black Hebrew Israelites. Those were actual bywords that was put on to us as a slur. They said, you don't have to be white first to become black. No, you don't, right? Because there's no such thing as white. There's no such thing as black. There's different shades of brown. And you got different shades of red, right? So again, it doesn't matter if I agree with you or not. You already have your own belief system set in place, right? And I didn't create a class to challenge that, to make you feel that you're something else outside of that. You've already stated what you are, right? We believe in regards to what they say you are, and that's it. We're the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's real simple. I'm breaking down who the sword is, who's not even your people, Polyboy, right? The sword is, again, the Caucasian. But again, a lot of our people went through that same thing. No one's saying that you're not black. Melanin, see, that's the trick that Esau has played upon the world. He's created this black and white thing. Polynesians look like what you would consider black, right? But then you can go over to East India and find people that are blacker than you or I, Polyboy. Skin jet black, right? But if you call them black, they will be ready to lop your head right off his shoulders. They don't call me black. Don't call me black. I'm Indian. They will get really upset with you about that, right? You have black Brazilians that are treated certain ways in their country by lighter skin. That colorization. All of our people went into captivity. So yes, right? It says in another way around, bro. Again, I'm not disagreeing with that. We weren't never white. Our people wasn't white. So the Caucasians that show up, and they're just because they're laying with a Negro woman or an indigenous Latino woman or an actual Native American woman, that seed of that child will still be Caucasian because the blood donor or the seed donor is that. It goes by the seed of your father, right? It goes by the seed of your father, right? Well, let's find out who the wicked is, because we got to deal with the facts down the table. Esau's that one people of the sword that we just went over in 2nd Ezra 15 and 15 that said they shall stand up and fight against another and swords in their hand, right? We just went to Genesis 27 and verse 40 showing that Esau was made the sword and that he would live from the sword. As you can see, there's military campaigns all over the world, clandestine as well as the ones that are shown for the public to see, right? Psalm 17 and 13, it says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Who is more wicked than the nation of Edom, right? Who's more? So regardless of mixing of North America, South America, the Caribbeans with, again, when we get into DNA, all of that stuff can't be proven because this was a Caucasian theory, right? Show me an ancient Polynesian that went off of DNA, that went off of blood type, right? You can't find that. But we know who, if you go back and look for your great-great-great-grandfather, and he's Polynesian, right? He's probably a melanated man. His people were probably attacked by the French. Those French, they get a little freaky. Hey, they see those Polynesian women over there, right? They see the hula going on. They want some of that. So yes, you're going to start to get people who are a little bit more light-skinned down the line, right? It's like Ephraim, a cake unturned. Because guess what? They were breeding with other nations, but it doesn't destroy that tribe. It doesn't destroy that seed. That's why it says 2/3 of the Israelites aren't going to make it. Only 1/3 are going to make it. 144 is separate from the 1/3, and I think people confuse that. The 144,000, it's just a ruling class. Those will be the ones who have control over the earth given by the hand of the Most High by way of his son Yahushua. The 1/3 is the elect, those who have kept the laws to the best of their ability and seemed worthy to make it into the 12 gates for the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, right? So again, when you get into talking about DNA and things of that nature, there's a lot of things that you can't prove anciently to go back, right? But again, okay, the theory that you're talking about, the R haplo group, right? Who initiated that theory? I can find it for you. And we're going to most likely find a Caucasian, right? Let's see here. R. Because you can't really trust them. 23andMe is telling you 15% bird, but you can't fly. Let's see. Let's see here. Origin. Okay. So it originated in Siberia or Central Asia, right? So let's find out who created it. Who is the creator? Who? Let's see. So again, it says it doesn't have a creator, right? It says here, it says Y-DNA haplogroup, right? RM207 does not have a creator because it's a natural human genetic lineage shaped by historical mutations rather than engineered authorized creation. Somebody had to come up with it, right? Somebody has to have an actual who did it first, right? Who came up with it first? Because they're calling Polynesians a mutation, right? So again, there has to be somebody who came up with it. That theory had to be created by somebody, right? So when you try to look up who it came up through, everything's like, well, it came up, somebody created this around 27,000 years ago, right? 27,000 years. So do you see the flaw with that? The oldest tree on this planet, right? It says, so when you take a blood test for HIV, that's fake too, right? When you take any blood sacrifice, right? They want your blood. They know that you're Israelite, right? HIV is a curse put upon you by the Most High. Because when you're out here being promiscuous, when you're out here going from woman to woman or man to man, or opposite sex that you shouldn't even be going to, that spirit of HIV is placed upon you by the Most High, right? Let's see here, do not put on gold or jewels. What are you talking about? So Solomon, the Israelites, none of them wore gold, right? You go into 1 Peter, but I can go into where there was gold placed on Jeremiah. The Israelites, when they broke off their gold to make the golden calf when they're in the wilderness, when Moses went up, where did they get that gold from? Oh, you mean the gold that was given to them by the Egyptians? Our people have always wore gold, right? Always wore gold. So when you come in, don't be covetous, Ryan, right? Don't be covetous and say, well, I don't know what he's talking about. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after the fact that he has on a gold necklace, right? That's what I'm going to go after, right? So when I go to your page, right, it says how to grow DWC cannabis, part 16. Ryan, are you getting high? Are you getting high, Ryan? Because the Most High don't want you getting high, right? Then you in here scalp trading. He said all day. So I can't take you seriously because you're around here getting high. You might be high right now. Right? So again, we got to look at all of these things. All of these things is the reason why 2/3 of our people aren't going to make it in Israel. Right? That's where it's coming from. I told you DNA is a lie. It can be. Right? Because the scriptures clearly say there's no end to the people. Right? But DNA will tell you that those people no longer exist. So who am I supposed to believe? The word of the Most High or the word of man? Because it says, let every man be a lie, but God be true. Right? See, Ryan says he doesn't believe in God. His rules don't apply to him. So again, we have another atheanity believer, right? He wants to quote the scriptures, but he don't believe in God. Where are we doing that? See, I can have more of a logical conversation with Polyboy than I can with Ryan, right? God said, don't be overweight. When did he say that? He said, don't be a glutton for food. But if you put on weight, is that something that you can control, right? But again, you're pointing out hypocrisy of what? What hypocrisy are you pointing out? So am I supposed to go to the gym because the Bible speaks against worshiping your body, right? So because I have on a black shirt and what does that make me super big? I don't get that. But again, this person doesn't believe in God, but yet wants to quote. This is the reason why I came up with the term atheanity, because they believe in God enough to try to utilize his words, but they don't want those words to apply to them. Straight, that's straight calamity, right? God doesn't wear gold. He has a city full of gold streets. But again, Ryan's upset because he smokes weed and he tries to do day trading. But that's what his page shows, right? We gotta look at it. We gotta look at it. I'm sick of you zealots telling me I can't smoke the weed. Maybe the Most High should put some fentanyl in your next patch of sticky icky icky. And then you're around here getting Bakered at. That's the whole thing. He doesn't even know how much I weigh. I do about 100 push-ups a day, sometimes more than that. I have on a black shirt. He can't even see how I look under this. And I'm sitting down. But again, he goes, because your face is fat. I'm assuming the rest of your body's fat. This is what weed does, right? It creates a large amount of assuming. Did I hear something? I could have swore I heard something. Then you start to get into weed theories. Then you come on here, you don't believe in the Bible, but then you come with your weed theories. May the Most High put fentanyl in your next batch of weed. And may you be turned over to your delusion, chasing cars, hiding in the bushes, right? To where they have to Baker Act you. And nobody looks for you anymore. Then Ryan won't be able to day trade once he smokes that fentanyl. And that's a great, that would be a great thing if the Most High did that. Brought judgment by fentanyl through your weed. You could be smoking it right now. That fentanyl hasn't even activated. Now you can't come down. Why is your heart beating so fast? You can't go to sleep. You're overly paranoid, right? I know. It's okay. May the judgment come upon you, right? So just lay back and let that judgment just overtake you. And when it happens, we'll never see you again in the chat. Like a lot of them, right? But this is the reason why it says the wicked is the sword of the Most High. Because guess what? Bob Marley is an Edomite. And what do our people do that's in the islands? They smoke weed because they see Bob Marley. He makes it cool, right? He makes it cool to them. Smoke the weed, man. Yeah. I used to smoke weed all the time. Thank God. Thank the Most High that it was brought and it was taken off. Right? Right. So we have to look at what the Most High has done. Why do you think that when you smoke, it says on the cigarette box, this may cause cancer? Because they know what they're doing. They know what they're putting there, right? There you go. Who says I can't keep the laws of the Most High? The Israelites, right? You should be upset, Ryan, that your people, the Caucasians, have told our people that we're not the children of Israel, that we don't have to keep the commandments. Now we're out here just acting any kind of way, and then now we're supposed to be the bad guy because you told us we weren't who we were supposed to be, right? See here. No early churches of Christ's disciples never built the church to find scattered of the real Israelites in Northern America, Southern America, or the Caribbean. So let's just look at this for what it really is, right? The word America was brought about by Amerigo Vespucci, right? Another what you would call a map maker, Italian map maker, Amerigo Vespucci. So America was actually called ISRAELITES. This is where the Native Americans have been. They were conquered by the conquistadors, right? They're conquered by the conquistadors, and they were conquered by the pilgrims, who they foolishly made a actual, they allowed them to come and live among them, right? Puerto Rico is not Ephraim, okay? The Tiano Indians, which has a wide historical proof of showing that they come from the tribe of Ephraim through Joseph, right? Now again, if you're not studying the archaeology, the historical facts, that's hearsay, right? We can look up and see who Polynesians are, right? They said you guys are a mutation, right? But again, all of these enlargements of Siberia, all of these are theories of Esau. The same people that you said were turning your peoples into, what's the word I'm looking for? Like false or sellouts. You said these people turned your people into sellouts, right? But this is why they said the wicked is the sword, because they're destroying nations and nations. This is where the famine's coming in, right? They're giving you so much false information on being Polynesian that when you look it up, it just says you guys are a mutation. That's crazy. That's crazy, right? Do you put physical appetite? I don't even eat nothing but once a day. And I drink water most of the time. But again, when you're a pothead, you're going to do a lot of assumption, right? You don't even believe in God, but you want me to take your insults serious, right? Ryan's upset because the day trading's not working. He wanted to create a dispensary, right? That ain't work out. He wants to be the weed plug in his area. That's not working out. So as he puff and flip through the channels on YouTube, he comes across and says, "Oh man, I'm going to say something to him." And guess what? The Most High is waiting to bring that judgment upon him. And he'll just be another casualty. Because guess what? He scoffed the word of the Most High. Let's go over to 2nd Ezra 15 and 9. Right? Let's look at it. Well, 15 and 19, Salakia. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. We're talking about the caucus again. Because we gotta point them out in regards to them being that wicked. They're the wicked, which is the sword. They're the one people that should stand up and fight against everybody. Look at it. Look at the history of it. Look at the history of it. Esau has gone into every landmass with the sword, right? So again, Polyboy, let's call it for what it is. Your people worships volcanoes and pineapples. Chat, can I get 100 pineapples, 100 volcanoes? Let's make Polyboy feel at home. Let's get the Polynesian starter kit going. I need the actual volcanoes in the chat, and I need the pineapples. We're gonna make Polyboy feel at home, because again, he's upset that the Tiano Indians, who are the tribe of Ephraim, he wants to now insult them and say that they're not the tribe of Ephraim. He's upset because he doesn't have a gate. Where's the gate of Japhet? It said the 12 tribes have a gate, but where's the gate of Japhet? Right? Why are volcanoes continue? Didn't y'all lose a lot of people when y'all had that volcano that came over there? Oprah and The Rock and all these celebrities came over there and they stole all y'all land recently, right? You're saying that you're Napatali. You're not Napatali, bro. You're Polynesian. All right? There's your own people don't claim anything of the 12 tribes of Israel, but you claim your heritage. Napatali never tattooed themselves. That's the whole thing. You tell another Polynesian that you're Napatali, they're going to look at you and laugh in your face. You want to try to work your way in, but you can't. Your people have a tradition of tattooing flesh. The Most High said you can't put any marks or cuttings of the flesh upon the body. You guys use the most traditional ways of putting your tattoos on y'all. But now you're Napatali. Come on with the foolishness, bro. Let's stop it. Let's stop it, bro. Let's stop it. Right? 2nd Ezra 15 and 19 from the top. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread for a great tribulation. Esau's going to be doing this. Esau is going to be doing this, right? What verse says that Japhet is going into heaven? What gate says Japhet on it? Right? What gate says Japhet? Because Japhet is a group of people, right? Ham, the so-called Africans, Shem, right? And Japhet. Show me where the Most High chose Japhet. Because he chose Shem, the Shemitic people, right? Then from there, he chose the 12 tribes of Israel. So the problem is you believe in DNA is going to get you into heaven. It's not going to work, right? It bothers you, right? It bothers you. No, Gentiles, there's two types of Gentiles, right? Let's really look at this. But they do it every time. You have Gentiles who are regular Gentiles, normal heathens, right? Then you have Israelites who are in a Gentile state of mind. That's why the scripture says ye were once Gentiles, right? It says that. So we can keep going on in regards to it. No, I didn't say some of the Israelites in the kingdom. I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. So, again, I already know what you're going on about. We deal with people who say they're Polynesian all the time. You guys do not believe in the Most High. If I don't keep the commandments of the Most High, and I choose to be a sinner, or I go back into the world not keeping his commandments, then guess what? I definitely won't make it into the kingdom, right? So at the end, we all strive for the kingdom, those who are the 12 tribes of Israel, right? But there are other nations are going to make it in as servants and handmaids, and a lot of them not going to make it, right? But when you tell another nation that they're going to be servants and handmaids, now it's a problem. Now it's a problem, right? But right now we're dealing with Esau. And you're upset. We're not even talking about Polynesians. We're talking about Edomites right now. So you're posting things, right? It says, don't put words in my mouth. I'm reading what you're putting on the screen. I can't put words in your mouth because I can't hear you. I can read you, but I can't hear you, right? So you trying to put words in my mouth, that's okay, right? That's okay. See, what they're doing is you're ignoring, because there's somebody putting in the chat who you guys believe in. Ku, the god of war. Lano, peace and fertility and music. Oro, god of war, creation. Pele, goddess of fire, lightning, and volcanoes. Right? Yeah, your people come from Japhet. I didn't just say it. Again, not only do I say that, your own people say it. So you have to take that up with the people who are writing the books on your people, saying what they're saying, right? Yes, I said you from Japhet. Your own people saying that. How come every other nation can say we're the children of Israel? They're slowly saying it. They're slowly putting books out, right? They're slowly showing that we were the actual true children of Israel in the Bible. They're slowly doing it, but now you have a problem with who you are because it doesn't allow you to go on with what you thought was going to work. Right? That's where the problem comes in. Why are your people worshiping volcanoes? God said don't have no other God but before me. Y'all worship so many gods on your islands. Y'all get tattoos that have to do with y'all gods all over y'all bodies. Right? Y'all worship fire, right? No, I never said Ephraim are Polynesians. No, I did not. Tiano Indians are not Polynesians. They're not even found in the same landmass, bro. So you're saying whatever you can say to get it in. I hope you ain't smoking too, Polly boy. You smoking? Are you smoking? Because we need to make sure we get off of this Caucasian cannabis, bro. Esau is already going to do what he's going to do. He showed you, right? I just read about the volcano destroying your people, and then who came through and took the rest of y'all land in that big area and built multi-million-dollar properties on it. Who did that? Right? So now you scoffing. So guess what? All praises to the Most High that what you're posting isn't even showing, right? All praises. I don't even have to put show or hide. The Most High is basically blocking out the foolishness of your tongue in the first place. Can we get more volcanoes in pineapple form? I don't think he's had enough, right? Why do Polynesians love spam so much? Why do y'all love pork so much, right? These are things that go against the Most High. I swear, that's the national meat of the Samoan and Polynesian is pork. That's the national meat of your people, bro. Now, I don't want no beef. Bring that pig over here. Put an apple in his mouth, right? Again, he's upset. Get the pineapples in the volcano form, right? We're going to get the hula dancers in the chat, man. We got to go ahead and deal with him as he's used to being dealt with, right? We got to. And you know what? Pineapple is a tasty fruit, right? But I'm not going to worship a volcano to get it, right? I'm not going to worship a volcano to get it. I'm not going to worship make-believe gods to get it, right? But guess what? Polynesians will. That's on them, right? That's why y'all dance with the fire. Y'all got the fire on the sticks with the little grass skirt on and stuff. Y'all are doing dances towards your gods. How are you Israelites? This is the nationality of your people. Our people don't know who they is because we broke the laws. Y'all people know who y'all is. This is the famine that's coming. This is the pestilence. This is the sword that's coming, right? This is why our people have to be severed for our safety. This is why he said, don't deal with the other nations. Don't give your children to them. Don't marry them. Don't deal with them whatsoever, right? So we got to look at it, right? So again, we got to look at it. You can say, I don't have any eyebrows, right? Let 5 volcanoes go off in the areas of which your people live. And then see if you can pray that lava away, right? See if you can pray that away. This is not going to work, right? That's cool. No problem. It don't matter. I don't have any hair. Whoop-de-doo, right? The little bit of hairs that grow, that's by the grace of the Most High. You don't believe in the Most High. That's the reason why you're here mocking and scoffing. And that's cool. That's cool, right? 2nd Ezra 16 and 22. Because when we read 2nd Ezra 15 and 19, it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Didn't they show up and just take over the rest of the land out there? Didn't they show up and take over that land, right? Didn't they put garrisons all over Hawaii, all over the Polynesian area? Your people are cooked, bro. Yeah, DNA don't matter. Don't matter, right? 2nd Ezra 16 and 22. Let's keep it going. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. How many of those people in the Polynesian community are having to pull out those cans of spam right now? Y'all love that pig. Y'all love cutting up y'all flesh. But yet you're going to tell me Nepatali Japhet? Come on, bro. Now, come on, man. You may get in, but you're going to be a handmaid, right? Or a manservant, right? we gonna let y'all in to serve the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what the Most High said he's gonna do. Right? Shalom to each brother and sister coming in. Baba Kusha, hit that like, share, subscribe. And what you're probably listening to, you're looking at in the chat, we have scoffers. There's people who don't believe in the word of God, right? They don't come with any scriptures. They don't come with anything. They come with the beliefs that they have based on the weed that they smoke, the alcohol that they drink, right? It only matters when we go to heaven. Again, that's your people that got to be the handmaids, right? That's your people that have to be the maidservants. You're doing that. You're doing this right now in real time. You're scoffing, right? But again, your people are perishing of the famine. 2/3 of the nation of Israel, that's so-called Negroes, indigenous Latinos, Native Americans, they're going to perish due to the famine, right? And the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy. So guess what? You may think, oh, well, I got away. Hey, we found a way to get through it, right? Because look at it this way. The Nation of Islam will say, oh, no, we're holy people, right? We don't eat the pork either. But and in the Quran, it says, if you ain't got nothing else to eat, you can go ahead and eat some of that pork. So again, these are the stipulations the Most High is putting upon them. The famine. Who's buying up all the farmland? Bill Gates. Not just here in America, in other countries as well. Who's buying up the actual companies? Who's trying to buy out all the farmers for their land? The wicked, the so-called Caucasoids, right? Because we can't even own simple things. You want to open a barbershop? No, we can't give you a loan for that. Even though you got the money, we're still not going to give it to you. Want to open a beauty salon? No, we're not going to do that. You want to open a library, a bookstore? No, we're not going to do that, right? Again, at least I'm making it to the kingdom. Thus say you. Because with all the scoffing you're doing, you may have utilized your last drop of grace to even be a handmaid, right? You may utilize that. So you might be lake of fire bound. You like lava, right? Again, you don't even, that's the foolishness right there. Who do you think you're going to be serving in the kingdom? That's the whole thing. You got the gospel twisted. Okay, no problem. But yet you can't show any scriptures that show your people making it to the kingdom to do anything, right? That's all I'm finna hit them with. But again, we don't have to keep doing this. The famine of the word, you may not even make it, Polly boy. 6 to 12 months from now, you may be on the verge of starving to death. Out of your cans of Spam. There's no pork in sight. Can't find a pineapple to save your life, right? And guess what? You may escape that famine, and then guess what? That sword, Esau, may come and destroy you. What are you going to do? Beg him? I'm Polynesian. I'm not one of them. Don't wear fringes, right? Don't do anything. Thus said the Lord. He does what he wants to do, right? But it's okay. Let's move on to famine, right? Because as we were reading in 2 Ezra 15:5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, right? The sword, famine. So we look at famine. Let's go to Baruch, right? The scribe of Jeremiah. Let's go to 2:25, right? Let's go ahead and get this stacking up. It says, and lo, they are cast out to the heat of the day and to the frost of the night. And they died in great miseries by famine, by sword, by pestilence, right? Didn't that happen when that great earthquake and volcano, which is they call that the ring of fire out there in your area, didn't a lot of your people not have anything, right? Didn't a lot of your people not have that? Because you're upset. You can say whatever you want to say. I'll let you say it. I'm not going to block you off, right? I'm not going to let you do any of that. It bothers you based on the fact that your people have already been written off by the Lord for your wickedness, for your worshiping of volcanoes, for your worshiping of false gods, for your lineage of tattoos of those gods to worship them. Your eating of unclean food. You guys are heathens. That's it. That's it. No DNA test needed to know you're dealing with a heathen. This is why the famine must come, right? So yes, you're going to be cast out into the sun and be burned, right? You're going to be going through that. Then you're going to have to deal with the frost, right? Because after that nuclear war happens, right? And the sun is then blacked out, as the scripture said, black as sackcloth. Yeah. The daytime, you're going to burn in that sun. At nighttime, you're going to almost freeze to death, right? And a lot of Polynesians and heathens and other nations, Israelites included, who didn't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and think that the Lord is a joke, they're all going to basically die of great miseries by the famine and by the sword and by the pestilence, right? So again, we can say, hey, he needs this, right? Hey, he needs that. Hey, he doesn't have eyebrows. Hey, right? That's all they do, right? You come on in. That's right. Bring the scoffing in. Oh, this is who is scoffing? That's who's scoffing? Stringy doggy hair? That's who is, right? Right? We got Abdul in there. His people are getting decimated out there praying to Allah, right? That's he looks like one of the actual people who's being investigated for the murder of Nolan, right? So again, how am I a Hamite? You don't even know who you are, Abdul, right? Are you an Arab? Or did you take on that name, right? Oh, you got a picture of houses made out of metal sheds and stuff. You're an Arab. Okay, so you're Ishmael. You're the wild man. You're the one who thinks that you're gonna basically explode yourself into a false heaven with 70 virgin boys. That's what y'all like, right? That's what y'all like. Right now, the Most High has the false nation of Israel destroying your people by the thousands. I watch Al Jazeera's. I see how they have y'all rolled up in them little carpets trying to get y'all to the ambulance. It's not going to do it, right? It's not going to happen, right? He's an Ishmaelite. Don't you have a corner store to watch? Some cigarettes to try to sell to our people? A chopped cheese or some kind of dirty sandwich meat to try to sell to somebody in the hood? Sure, right? Polly boy, because I'm not talking to you, you think I'm hurt? It's okay, right? It's okay. The famine and the miseries and the pestilence that are coming upon your nation, you're going to have to deal with that. No, Allah didn't do that. Allah can't do anything because Allah doesn't exist. The word Allah is a Paleo-Hebrew word, and that word came about 700 years after Christ already walked into heaven and ascended, right? So that's the only problem. You guys can't even stop another country from tearing y'all apart. Where's Allah? Where's the peace that he's supposed to make? Where's the submission that he's supposed to bring? Nowhere. You guys live in like dust land, right? Y'all come over here, right? You come over here and you praise Muhammad, who was an illiterate PDF, right? Marrying that little girl, and you guys proudly read that in Quran. The word Quran means to recite, right? This is the pestilence. These heathen nations, right? These heathen nations coming with their Islam, right? Coming with that, let's smoke the weed. Coming with the, bring the DNA, right? That's the problem. That's the problem. He calls himself a poly boy, right? Poly boy. So that's, again, he's showing who he is. He's not Nefertari. He just put that up there because he doesn't know. Doesn't know, right? No, the curse is upon your people. It's the reason why you guys are water repellent. This is the reason why your people are target practice for other heathen nations, right? You pray to a God that can't read. You pray to a prophet that can't write and likes to marry little children. Your belief system shows that when you go to heaven, right, you guys get 70 virgin boys. To do what? You can't make any more children with that. That's foolishness, right? But again, in the Quran, it tells you don't eat pork, right? It's not halal, right? But if there's nothing else to eat, Allah says it's okay. That's foolishness. That's foolishness, right? You come over here, taxi drivers, right? You sleep in the taxi, you never go home, and then guess what? You guys serve that street food. People coming into your country getting sick, salmonella all day long. You see the videos. No kind of sanitation whatsoever. But it's okay, right? It's okay. Because Allah doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. Because if that's the case, y'all would be able to protect yourselves, right? Because we have a God that will fight for us. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? We have a God that will fight for us. But again, it's a real thin line, right? It's a thin line. Yep, 6-year-old girl. That's who we married. Then you guys go around and kiss the rock, right? Yep, they cook with their hands and feet. No sanitation whatsoever. That's why they're so thin. Because a lot of them are too busy regurgitating that horrible food. And then they do the little dances and stuff. That's the reason why the belief system, they're the wild man. Ain't no wilder than that. They wilding, right? This is where the pestilence comes in, right? This is where the pestilence, a lot of people that are Arab are dying of food shortages right now, right? Netanyahu over there tearing y'all up. Y'all, ceasefire. Nope, another cruise missile, right? Another military campaign. Where is your Allah then? Where is he? Is he on a voyage? Is he at a preschool with Muhammad? Right? Is he doing that? Right? But again, we have to say, thus say the Lord. Because do you want to be of the great multitude of those who are going to die with the miseries of famine, by the sword and pestilence, and do you die in sin? Do you want to be in that? I know I don't. This is the reason why the Most High gave our people the commandments, but not the heathen, right? Not the heathen. He's upset. He's so upset he's typing in all capitals, right? I guess we tried to give him all the volcanoes and pineapples to make him feel comfortable, but that's not working, right? Let's look at what the prophet Jeremiah has to say in regards to what's going to be happening. Because when we try to tell people that this famine is coming, that many are going to die because the Most High is going to be bringing this upon the earth, guess what? They don't believe in it because they don't go into the book of the Most High, right? So again, I'm reading what God said he's going to do. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and 14. I mean, 4. Yeah, not 14, Salakia. And 14. Do I want that? No, I want verse 4. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 4. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, right? Neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. This is what's going on right now, right? This is what's going on right now in Polynesia. When them earthquakes and those volcanoes bring that lava, right? When he brings that straight down the scenario, you're a Zionist too. How am I a Zionist? I'm an Israelite. Those people in our land are not real Israelites. But again, Ryan's been here. He had to go roll up, everybody. That's what Ryan had to do. He had to go roll up and then come back, right? That's what he had to end up doing. He says, you're a Zionist too? He's so upset, right? He doesn't believe in anything. He prays to the spaghetti monster. So and this is the dangerous people. Those who say they don't believe in God at all, right? How do you know that they're not a PDF, right? How do you know that they're not a violator of small children and women who can't defend themselves? Because they don't believe in God. They don't believe in wrong or right. They always believe in what they do is correct. So they don't have no type of conscience. They don't have something to actually stand up on. We have the law, statutes, and commandments of how we can deal with our people, right? Now it's upset. Now it's your doctrine came out of here. Our doctrine came out of the Bible. And now because we know who we are, and Polyboy's not included in that, he's just here scoffing. And that's quite all right. They're going to do that. They're going to do that, right? It's quite all right. He's signing up for first class famine, right? A platinum pestilence package. He's signing up for that. That's what he's signing up for. He comes in, he's upset, right? That's the reason why when it says you're not going to be lamented, Polyboy, Ryan, they're not going to cry for you. The heathens that are scoffing, they're not going to bury you. You're going to be dung upon the face of the earth, right? And you will be consumed by the sword and by the famine, just like the Ishmaelite that was here, right? Again, now, if I told him that Polynesians were of the 12 tribes, he wouldn't even be here talking about your doctrine came out of New York. Foolishness. The doctrine came out of the Bible. There were Israelites doing the work way before One West. So now it's a problem because we know who we are, just like you know who you are. That's a problem, that you guys love to eat pork, that you guys worship volcanoes, that you guys tattoo and cut your flesh, right? Willingly. That's a badge of honor for your people. And because I say, hey, Polynesians aren't of the 12 tribes, they're not Nepatali, now I become your enemy because I tell you the truth. Well, I'm your enemy anyway because I'm a child of Israel. And I'm not a Polynesian, right? Not a Polynesian who believes in a DNA system that calls his people a mutation. They're calling your people Resident Evil characters, right? But now I'm the bad guy. I didn't come up with it. I didn't ask for it, right? Didn't ask for it. He's upset. He's upset. It bothers him, right? Ryan says your God is a monster. He kills males, females, and adolescents, right? But again, Ryan's upset because he's smoking so much, he doesn't even believe that there's a God, right? He doesn't even believe he's Esau. But when Christ comes back, you won't be having a bad trip. You won't be having a hallucination when the Most High has his son come to bring that upon you. Because you're going to be consumed, right? You're going to be consumed by the sword and by famine. So when you think that you can't get any weed for the weekend, right? When you think that you can't get you some pineapples or go pray to a volcano, these are the things that you're going to have the first famine of, because the word of the Most High wasn't put for you. Right? Again, he's quoting the Bible that he doesn't believe in. That's the whole thing, right? You're a Samoan. You're a Polynesian. Go worship the gods of your people. You have nothing to do with us, right? You're already gnashing and weeping that you're not a Nepatalian. How dare you insult that tribe of people? You're none of them. They wouldn't operate in such a heathenistic manner, right? Go to Amos 8 and 11, right? Because they don't believe that this is coming. But guess what? The Most High said he's going to do, right? And if our people are foolish enough to go along with these people or believe in these people, right? This is what's going to happen. The book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God. I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. In that day, the fair virgins and the young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, Thy God, O Dan, liveth, and the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. Because what they're teaching our people is to worship everything but the Most High and his words, right? That's the whole problem. Ryan, he doesn't want to deal with the fact that why we are dealing with oppression. Because the Caucasians, they were the sword. When I was trying to bring out how they were the sword and how they would oppress the world, guess what? Ryan had to go roll. Hey, I'm out of here. I'm going to roll up, right? Polly, don't worry about it. You're not an Israelite. So you can't say what you don't want to be. You never was that, right? You're upset. It bothers you that you're not one of us. You're not like us. Yes, you have melanated skin. Hand clap for that, right? But that's it. That's it. Yep, I know. It stings. It's like a deep cut. It stings to find out that you're not worthy of the kingdom, right? I would be upset too if I wasn't worthy of the kingdom. But guess what? All praise to the Most High that I have the opportunity to make it to the kingdom, right? Not like Ryan. He's gonna be smoking, right? He's gonna be smoking. That's his God right there. If he can't get any weed, Ryan's gonna go Call of Duty on a school, right? He's gonna go Call of Duty at the mall, right? Again, he keeps saying God isn't real because God doesn't deal with you. So of course he's not real to you because he doesn't hear your prayers. He doesn't answer you, right? When those things happen to you as a child and you called out to God and he didn't hear anything because your people are wicked as they are, guess what? It's all right. The famine will begin with those dispensaries. The Most High will have them closed one by one. But guess what they're not going to do, Ryan? They're not going to close that dispensary. So when there's little pieces of metal in your cannabis and you're inhaling that, where you're getting fiberglass in there and it's ripping out your lungs, when you're getting different forms of cancer from those dispensaries, guess what? You signed the documentation. You signed it. So if you haven't read that document you signed for a dispensary, they say they take no repercussions, legal or civil, regarding your health after smoking, right? That's what. Ryan doesn't know that because Ryan just wants to get high. But this is what Neanderthals do. This is the same things they try to teach our people to be. Unworthy of the kingdom. They know that they're not going, right? They know that the word isn't for them. So what do? They create shortcomings for our people, right? That's the problem. The kingdom isn't real. Yeah, I know. It's okay. But that judgment, Ryan, that's coming upon you, that's real. That's real, right? I know. Sirach 40:9. This is just for you, Ryan. It says, such thing, and I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood, right? That flood of lava coming from the volcano. That flood of propaganda that's being brought to Ryan that he's just getting the best weed ever, right? That's the problem. Full of lies and rewipes and contradictions. So are you a Gnostic, Ryan? Or are you atheist? Which one are you? A Gnostic or atheist? And while you're doing that, I'm going to get the precept for Sirach 40:9, which is Wisdom of Solomon 1:12. Right? The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 12. Seek not death in error of your life. So when you're here scoffing, right? Atheist, yeah. You worship nothing, right? But your religion isn't atheist. Your religion is atheanity. Because to be an atheist, you have to believe in Christian. You have to believe in Christianity, those terms. Because that's how you build your premise for you to believe and stand on being an atheist, right? That's how it works, right? It's real simple. You didn't believe in God because he doesn't hear you. He doesn't work for you, right? I know. You can always say, yes, Jesus did. But again, your people, the caucus, can show historically what prophecies came to pass. But again, when you smoke weed and you don't believe in anything, you'll do anything, Ryan. We know you'll do anything for a fat sack. Yes, you will go on the black couch for a fat sack, Ryan. You would tell somebody in the alley, I got these 2 cheeseburgers, Ryan. We know. We know what you'll do for it, Ryan. We know how perverse your people are. Right? We do. Right? That's why there's a show called Jackass. Not one Negro on that show. Y'all do them and y'all don't believe, they don't believe in the Most High, right? You're of those people, right? That's what you have to deal with. But see, you're seeking your death and error of your life. And this is why the Most High tells us not to do this. Ryan's here scoffing. There's no kingdom. There's no hell. There's no God. There's no this. There's no that, right? It's like Polyboy. He's upset that he knows that he's not Nepatali and he's just a pineapple-pleasing Polynesian. It's mind-boggling how you wanted to be an Israelite at first, but when you found out that you weren't of the 12 tribes, then you turned into a grade A scoffer. Right? A grade A scoffer. But this is what they do. This is how you know a heathen, right? This is how you know. He goes, oh, King James Bible is the worst one. It's full of lies. It's so funny that someone who doesn't believe in the Bible, never read the Bible, knows that the Bible's full of lies. Oh, wait, I know why. Because the propaganda of his people told him that. Your people are the ones that inherit lies, right? Right? That's the whole problem. But again, we have to go on what the scripture says. It tells us not to seek death in the error of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the work of your hands. They're working their hands on their keyboard. Polly's working overtime. Ryan's working overtime. They're working with their hands. They're bringing that error on their life. They're bringing destruction upon themselves slowly, and it may be quicker, right? But see, this is what you have to do. Go to Ecclesiastes 7 and 17. Because the scripture tells us not to do that for a reason, right? It says here, Ecclesiastes 7 and 17, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 16. It says, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? So as we're reading right here in Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 12, it says, seek not death in the air of your life. So it's telling you that you don't want to die before your time, right? But again, Brian, it's okay. It's okay if you don't believe in the Bible. It wasn't for you anyway. The Most High's never dealt with your people. And I can prove it to you, right? I can prove it to you. Verse 18. It says, it is good that thou should take hold of this. Yea, also from this withdraw not thy hand. For he that feareth God shall come forth of them all. Wisdom strengthen the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city, right? So we have to look at, your book doesn't prove anything. Yeah, it does. It shows us who the scoffers is. It shows us who your people were. You were too busy rolling up some narcotics to even listen. Your people are the sword of the Bible. Your people are the Edomites of the Bible, right? It's okay. You can keep saying that. Yes, over and over. You keep typing the captions. You put the emojis. But you told me to go look up DNA about Polynesians, right? But then it turned around and called your people a mutation. Deal with that, Polly. Why are you being a mutation? Why are you considered a mutation? Evolution proves creation. God didn't create anything. So God created evolution. He didn't create anything, right? So let me ask you a question, right? Why do you go to dispensaries, right? Why do you go after something that God grows? To smoke it like a heathen would, to get high, right? The precept that I just read, Aqua Houston, was Ecclesiastes 7, 16 through 19, which precept with Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 12, which says, seek not death in error of your life, and pull not yourselves destruction with the works of your hands, right? Then when we go over to Ecclesiastes 7 and 16, it says, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? Right? Come. Guess what? These precepts that are coming out, that's what's going to happen. Yep. No, I'm black. You the color of a crayon, right? Ryan doesn't believe in anything. He believes in the prophecy of zigzag, right? And we know that zigzag has to do with satanic worship of the pyramid. But again, right? That's the whole problem. And a poly boy said, I'm black. I can't spell. Hey, it's no problem. This is the reason why, as a heathen, Poly boy is not worthy of the kingdom. He's not. Because he's here scoffing the word of the Most High. But yet he's trying to put himself in the position that he's going to get in. You're not, right? This is the reason why you shouldn't pull that destruction upon yourself and die before your time with your scoffing. But it's okay, right? It's okay. 2 Ezra 16 and 19, right? Because it's coming. When that dispensary's closed down, Ryan's gonna be really upset. He's gonna be really upset, right? No, we're not Kenites. We're Israelites, right? Poly boy, you gotta calm down, bro. You're like those people in the concert when they say who want to come on stage. You about to put your shoulder out the socket. You get your hand in the air. right? Nobody's saying that you smoke weed, Polly, right? We're talking about Ryan. True story, right? He says that we're Cain. We're not Cain, right? Your people are Cain, the caucus. We're the people of Jacob. But hey, it's all right, right? Hey, Polly boy, maybe you should talk to Ryan, try to help him kick the weed, man. Help get him on that pineapple and volcano that you want, right? He didn't rip out anyone's rib, but see again, Ryan doesn't believe in anything, right? He believes in evolution. So if he goes on a date with a young lady, he believes that at the end of the night, if he wants to lay with that woman against her will, with Ryan, it's okay. Because he doesn't believe in anything of consequence. It's okay. That's what a non-believer believes in. They want to do anything, right? They can do anything. If Ryan wants to go to a park and apprehend an adolescent in a white van and do all types of heinous things, he doesn't believe in anything. So he's not going to repent. He's not going to seek repentance. These people are very dangerous. When you're in Christianity, you come out of Christianity, you come into the truth, right? You start keeping the commandments. Then you say, you know what? I don't believe in that anymore. You can't go back to the world because you don't believe in Christianity. You've now become an atheist. You have, right? So again, Polly boy, hey, you don't smoke weed, help out your Caucasian counterpart, Ryan, right? Help him out. 2nd Ezra 16 in verse 19, right? And I'm going to start at verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? You're going to have to ask yourself that. We have a God that we believe in, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the one who brought our people through captivity, who's restored us, who's given us his laws, statutes, and commandments. But what shall the heathens do that pray to gods that don't exist, right? Verse 19, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be away mindful of the scourges. So we got to look at that. We got to look at it for what it is. Your people are going to be going through that issue as a heathen. Your kids are going to be in the famine, Polly, right? You want me to get the scriptures to prove it? Right now, Ezekiel 7 and 15. Let's prove that the little Polynesian is not going to make it either. Right? Let's prove it. You're going to be looking at them like this, like a little pig with an apple in his mouth. Right? Ezekiel 7 and 15. It says, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him, because there's no escape from this, right? Go to Psalms 78 and 50. We're going to stack this up for you because you say your children are your relief. Well, let's see what the Most High thinks. Let's see, right? Because you just did all this scoffing and mocking on here. Polly, what do you think you signed your children up for by doing that? The Most High can skip you and go after them, right? The book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 50. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to pestilence, and smote all the firstborn in Egypt, and the chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham. But he made his own people to go forth like a sheep, and guided them in the wilderness like a flock letting you know that the Most High is going to keep us safe. Your people won't matter, right? And if you're still saying, but that doesn't say anything about my children, right? Here we go. 2nd Ezra 15 and 57. Because we gotta prove all things, right? We gotta prove all things. I'm gonna start at 56, right? 2nd Ezra 15 and 56. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, right? Just like Polyboy's doing, all that scoffing and mocking. Even so shall God do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief, right? Thy children shall die of hunger, Polyboy. That's what's going to happen, right? And thou shalt fall, though the sword. Thy cities shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, that they eat their own flesh and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. Though as unhappy shall come through the sea and receive plagues once again. So you're thinking that you're going to get around this, Ryan, right? When you think that you're going to get around this, Polyboy, with the scoffing, the Most High has already given prophecy of what's going to happen for the wickedness of your people, right? The fatal future famine is forewarned. The Most High said, I separated you from these people. I've given you straight laws, statutes, and commandments, right? I've given you instructions to keep, but yet you don't want to keep them, right? It won't happen, I promise you that. Ryan, I want you to call those people that you love. I want you to call Nana. I want you to call Mommy, right? Because Dad, he's been gone, right? I want you to call them and let them know that sun poison is soon coming, right? That the pestilence and the sword will soon be upon you, right? See, y'all laughed about the ICE agents going after our indigenous Latino people of Israel. Y'all thought that was real funny. It was real cute, right? Until those same ICE agents went ahead and eliminated a heathen right on camera. Then y'all got out there and started complaining about it, right? The tribulation is going to be coming upon you, right? You smoke weed and do day trading for a living. What's going to happen when the EMP hits, right? And you can't get any of your electronic currency, your bitcoins and all of that, right? You're gonna smoke your last bowl, and you're gonna be out there in the alley with the cheeseburgers. I got some cheeseburgers, right? God reveals himself every time. That's the reason why you can't get rid of that cough, right? That really bad cough that you get in the middle of the night sometimes, you can't get rid of that. That growth that they found at your last doctor's appointment that you haven't gone back about, that they tried to give you something about it, the Most High has given himself to you. He showed you, right? But again, our people, hey, they think that they're things that they're not, right? The heathen nations, they think that they're things that they're not. They don't believe in the Most High. That's why the Most High never dealt with them, right? And I'm going to prove that. And I'm going to get us a law. I'm going to prove that Ryan isn't worthy. I'm going to prove that these heathen nations aren't worthy of the Most High. Psalms 147 and 19. He shows his word unto Jacob, not Japheth. The scripture says he sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel, not Japheth, right? He have not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Not Japheth. Japheth don't know them. No. Esau is your twin brother, Polly, right? It's okay, right? You're upset. May all the little ones of your bloodline catch a different type of mutated situation that a doctor can't fix, right? For you speaking blasphemy upon the name of the Most High. May the Most High bring it swift, right? Swift, starting with your favorite ones, down to the ones that you don't even speak with, right? Because we have to ask for the Most High to do these things and destroy those people who hate him. I hate what the law has shown me, right? About, and what I mean by that when I say I hate what the law has shown me, I hate that the fact that you will get someone who wants to cosplay being from a tribe, and when you tell them, hey, you're not in the tribe, they start to try to bring the commandments to you. I hate that. These ain't your laws, right? But I love that the law shows me if I love my brother as I love myself, if I love my sister as I love myself, if I teach my children to keep these commandments, they have an opportunity to get into heaven. I love that. I hate when people try to quote the law of the Most High to me who are not even worthy of reading those words because they weren't given that. Don't quote the word of the Most High if you don't believe in that, right? Again, oh, the sheep are the homeless. That's the foolishness, bro. That's the foolishness right there. Let me get this law. Let me get this law now. Because now the Polynesians say that the homeless are that. The Most High say he make us rich, he make us poor, right? But again, he said the homeless are the lost sheep. So again, this shows all the calamity of that, right? But we can tell them over and over, I'm not going to go around it. Esau's your twin brother. Okay. That's your brother. Esau's your brother. But guess what? The brotherhood was severed when he said in his heart, right? Yes, the Most High, yes, those children who are wicked, the Most High enjoys watching them being eliminated because most of those millions of children you're referring to are heathen. And they have to. They have to pay for that sin. But you don't understand that, Ryan, because the weed has your mind just is gone. You'll never have a comprehension of the Most High, right? Never, right? But we have to look at why the Most High said don't do it, because guess what? Polynesians, y'all eat food with blood in it, right? Let's get that law. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 10. And whatsoever man there be of a house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eat of any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eat of blood, and I will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul, right? So when you're eating the pig, it's not fully roasted, they got the blood in it, you got to deal with that, right? Half the Torah, how do you keep half the Torah? But again, I forgot, he's not an Israelite, so he doesn't understand, right? Again, I am Officer Ehud Bun Yasharallah of the mighty Battle Axes of the Most High, coming to you with another Reverend Friday. Today's lesson again was the fatal future. Famine was forewarned, right? And by the way, Nolan Ryan, they still haven't sent over his throat to be examined, right? But yet they're quick to try to arrest people online for talking against the friend's mother, who's that judge, right? They're locking people up for that, but they're not locking up the people who should be convicted of that murder, right? This shows you that we have no dealing with the heathens, and the more and more our people break that commandment that the Most High has told us not to do, then again, this will be the outcome, right? If you have to trust somebody like Ryan, the same way that Nolan probably trusted those Edomites on that boat, who didn't believe in the Most High, don't believe in God. So they didn't mind shedding his blood. But then Polyboy's going to say, Esau's my twin brother, right? Let's see how he feels when the military of Esau comes riding into his land to take over, and there's no more pineapples or hula dances, right? Then he'll have to realize that I've made a mistake. But his pride won't allow him to do that. Tune in this evening for Shabbat class with mighty Officer Donovan. But I believe it's going to be Razatakia. Prayers up for Officer Donovan. He's a little bit under the weather. Prayers up for Soldier Ezra, who's been a bit under the weather, right? Again, Ryan doesn't believe anything's going to happen because that weed is so good that he doesn't believe nothing's going to happen, right? He doesn't believe when the doctor tells him that, hey, you only got a couple of months before you're out of here. He's not going to believe that. He's not going to believe when they say, hey, we got a subpoena, the things we found on your phone. He's not going to believe that. He's not going to believe anything until Yahweh Shah strikes him down. Even on his deathbed, he's going to be like, well, still don't believe in it. I'm just going to go into, yeah. You don't fear death because you're so high. That's why. That's why, Ryan. We get it. We get it, right? Your people have that pride on them. That's why you don't fear it, right? Your people don't mind watching millions of people starve. Your people, right? The Edomites, the Caucasians, they don't mind watching women delete their children. They don't mind watching men being falsely incarcerated, right? Ryan, then your famine has already started, right? Get a job, bro. Get a job that you can finish your heathenistic ways. I haven't smoked in almost 2 months, actually. Again, I don't care, right? Shalom, Cedric, good to see you. I don't care, that's you. You're a heathen. You're upset, right? It bothers you. You don't believe in the Most High. So, Ryan, that's up to you. I'm retired. Okay, Ryan, that's cool. So have you manipulated enough people in your day trading to be retired? Is that what you do? Right? That's what you're doing? He thinks that day trading is going to be there. When he tries to pull that electronic currency, guess what? He's going to be really upset. And that's when he's going to delete himself. Like they always do. He's going to make a Kool-Aid, right? I invested in 2008. Whoop-de-doo, Ryan. We know the wicked, the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. Your people are on the face of the money, right? So that's cool. You retired at 35. It's okay. You retired at 35 and you'll expire before 55. Thus said the Lord. Most High, I pray it, right? So again, I want to give a God of all, call halal Yahweh Bahashem, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yasharala, right? Barak Akim, Wa Akwatim, Shema Yahpalal Yahweh, Hallelujah Yahweh, right? And that's the Paleo Heathen, right? Ryan is the Paleo Heathen, but I just spoke in the Paleo Hebrew, right? Again, y'all have a blessed day of preparation. Y'all get ready for the Sabbath, right? These heathens, they have no idea. Well, they do have an idea of what's coming, but the pride makes them think that they're never going to have to deal with that, right? We brought out the precepts showing that pestilence is coming, that death and destruction is coming. Get yourself right with the Most High before it's too late. I'm telling you, you don't want to be in a situation where a spirit of pestilence has been put upon your house or upon your body. You don't want that, right? I got low cholesterol, right? I know. That actual earthquake's gonna hit really soon, probably. So you go call Nana. You tell her to get off that island, get her chincletas, right? Move swiftly, right? You move swiftly, and you better hope and pray. Well, the volcano guy's not going to listen to that, so I guess that won't work for you either, right? If you are Israelite, the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called Negro, Indigenous, Latino, Native American, this is your first time hearing this, right? If you're of those 3 people groups that I just went over, repent, keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, acknowledge and keep his Sabbath day, his new moons, his high holy days, right? And get yourself right for the kingdom, right? So we have to look at it for what it is. Ryan, yes, we may be oppressed by the Caucasians, but you're being oppressed by sun poison. Enjoy that. Again, I'm Officer Ehud Bun Yasharala, the Battle Axes of the Most High, coming to you with another Fervent Friday. Call Hala Yahweh.